Cool.
Hi again.
Hi again. The Cure. It just comes from a conversation I had with Quincy Jones. I had the pleasure of performing some of his songs at his house on his piano for an event celebrating his years in music. And we just had a long conversation about, you know, the state of music and where he feels like it's going and where it should go. And we just were talking about the fact that, you know, I play an instrument and I write my songs and I sing still about topics and heartfelt stuff and emotional stuff. And he was just saying that, yo, like, stay doing that. That's what's going to be the Cure. Keep doing that. So that's where the name The Cure comes from.
Nice.
I'm really optimistic about where music is going, especially even after the Grammys, you know, like Frank Ocean getting 6 nominations, and last year it was Adele, and I think people are now reaching back and looking for different sounds now again, and I think that it puts all of us independent artists in a great advantage now because people are searching us out. I think, you know, I think there's a lot of great music in general. I mean, I love some of the big pop stuff that's going on, but I think there's just a lack of diversity right now. Like, I don't think there are enough options. Whereas I think, you know, when we grew up, it was like you had your options, you know what I mean? There was the pop stuff, but there was also other options of things you could listen to. So now I feel like it's just been so homogenized to this one thing that it makes everybody have to go out and seek stuff. So you can have like an Adele who didn't have like a bunch of radio play be the biggest thing, you know, last year, or Frank Ocean, which didn't get a lot of radio play, you know, debut at #2 and sell all these records and be nominated for Grammys, because people are now starting to seek stuff out on their own and go online and find the music. So I think it's headed in a great place, and I'm just, you know, going to do my part to be a part of it, you know. Definitely, I think so. Like I said, I think Frank Ocean is a prime example of that. But there are a lot of artists that are emerging now and coming out that have just been signed that are really doing like true to form R&B and more soulful things and picking up instruments again, or you'll hear like live instruments in their music. So definitely, I think it's you know, everything's a cycle, and I think the cycle is coming back around, and it's going to be a resurgence of live music and real soulful feeling stuff. D'Angelo was the artist that inspired me to do what I do, because he played the piano and I played the piano. He grew up in church, I grew up in church. He has a deep voice, but he uses his falsetto a lot, which is kind of the way I sing too. So I think that was like, oh, yo, I can, you know what I mean? This is something that I relate to personally. So he was the first one that I was like, yo, I want to do that, you know? And I saw like the Voodoo tour, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. And ever since then, I started paying a little more attention in piano lessons, and, you know, and paying a little more attention when I was actually singing. And then I started writing a lot more, and then I started forming a band. But it was all really because I was inspired by D'Angelo, definitely. Well, the quickest way to flash it all back is, I mean, I started out just literally singing and playing keys wherever anybody would let me. So there was this little club in New York called Village Underground, and I started singing there. And when I first started singing there, I was terrible, and I was nervous as hell, and I, you know, couldn't really get out what I was trying to get out yet. But everything that has happened has come from that. So I started there, I got better, I got better, I got better, and the first thing I was offered was to work with Lauryn Hill, so I sung backgrounds for Lauryn Hill. I started to write for a few people. I did backgrounds on like John Legend's first album. Then from there, Alicia Keys and you know, Linkin Park and CeeLo and John Legend and, you know, Jay-Z and Diddy, and so it just kind of like evolved from there. So everything goes back to that one thing, and just singing anywhere I could sing and performing anywhere I could perform, and people seeing me, you know, and saying, hey, do you want to come do this? You know, that's how I did the Quincy Jones thing, and how I did BT Music Matters and performed on 106 in Park. All that stuff comes from just every single time I could go on somewhere and sing it, you know? So, yeah, that's my journey in one sentence, I guess. The first would be, I recorded, well, Faith Evans recorded one of my songs for her project that just came out, and it's called Too High for Love. And that was a big moment for me because growing up in New York, Bad Boy was like the most important thing in New York, and Faith Evans was like a big part of, you know, how I learned to arrange songs and just different techniques and stuff. So when they called me and they're like, hey, you know, Faith Evans wants to record one of your songs, is it okay? And she was saying that she wants to arrange it on her own. Is that all right? I was like, well, I learned how to vocal arrange listening to her, so yeah, you know. So that was a really cool experience. Then I performed for Maya Angelou's birthday party, and it was hosted by like Oprah and Donald Trump, and that was amazing. So that was a big milestone because my mom was like a huge like Oprah person, so Oprah was always in my house always, and Maya Angelou is just an amazing poet, and I started out writing poetry and then I turned it into songs later, so that was huge. And third, of course, would be Quincy Jones, which maybe that's first, but somewhere in there, Quincy Jones, just meeting him and being able to like just chop it up with him. I mean, I walked through this guy's house and we saw plaques from everybody from like, you know, Dizzy Gillespie and, you know, old jazz cats to like Kanye West and T-Pain and Jodeci and, you know, people like I don't think there will ever be a producer that spans that much time and that much success. So it's just incredible to see somebody do that. So those would be my three. Definitely. I actually am a huge Maxwell fan. I'm a huge, obviously, D'Angelo fan. Sade, I went to see Sade this year for the first time, and it was the best concert I've ever seen in my life, and I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm inspired by a lot of people, I mean, touring with Jay-Z was massive for me because I grew up a huge Jay-Z fan, so like doing the Party Life remix with him for the American Gangster thing was like, I can't believe this is happening because, you know, some of my first records and tapes was like Jay-Z, you know, so those are things that definitely inspired me to be like, okay, yo, it's like, it feels like it's a lot closer when that happens, you know. You know, I was pretty close to like the camp where Nicki Minaj came out of, and like, you know, even Drake and people like that. So it's kind of like watching everyone kind of evolve and move. It's like, all right, it makes you still feel like, okay, you could do it, you know. So it's cool. New York is extremely competitive. So that little club that I started singing at, it was the kind of club where you didn't get up there and sing unless you were amazing, because otherwise they were gonna make you know that you weren't amazing, you know? So it made me get better and better and better and better. And so it changed my hustle, it changed my approach to things, you know. I definitely am a grinder. I'm definitely ready for people to say no. I'm ready for honest opinions. I'm ready for a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people are ready for. I think just being in New York gives you a thick skin, and you're ready to like hear no and shake it off and do something else. You know, you're ready to take a couple jabs and be like, all right, well, next thing, and keep moving. So that's what I think New York prepared me for. I started singing for him about 2 years ago. They were in New York and they did Saturday Night Live, and it was cool. It was a great experience, and then we ended up doing the Fame tour, which was cool, and now I'm here now doing the Carpe Diem tour. So it's been a great experience, and I mean, obviously he's one of the most talented artists out, just as far as a singer, dancer, writer, producer, actor, painter. Like he does it all, and he actually does it all really well. So it's been great to just be a part of that and watch that movement. So yeah, I'm excited about it. My last one was called Shades of Grey, which I'm so excited that has had so many downloads and so much success, and so many people like looked out for it. You know, like I mean, I'm here in Europe and I'm performing and doing shows and stuff based off of my mixtape, and it's crazy that I go there and everyone's singing along to every word, and I'm like, wow, you know, this is something that I've created on my laptop in different countries while I was on tour, and then I just put it online, and who knows, you know? And so that's been amazing. But it's called Shades of Grey. It's a free download, so you can still download it if you don't have it anyway. But yeah, and it was really just me writing songs about what was going on in my life at the time, and it goes through a lot of different genres, which is how I came up with the title, because I feel like none of us ever only listen to one kind of music, even though they try to put artists in a box and say, what, you do this, you know, and I was like, well, that's not realistic, because nobody with an iPod has one kind of music in their iPod. So that's where it came from when they were trying to make me decide, you know, black or white. It was like, no, it's shades of gray, you know what I mean? So that's where the title came from, and it's been really great, you know. The video's been all over the place, and I'm just excited about it. So, and now I'm working on my new one, which is an EP, finally, and it's called The Rebirth of Gene, and I'm excited to get just a little bit more personal, a little bit more close to my heart, and just really let people know who I am. Like, I don't think anybody will have many questions after this comes out, you know. They'll be like, I know exactly who he is, you know. So that's what I'm excited about. Top of the year, you know, while I've been recording, actually while I'm on tour, I've been sending back mixes and you Skyping and trying to figure it out. But when I get home from tour at the top of January, I'll actually finish it, and you'll start hearing stuff towards the end of January, and it should be out by like mid-February, I'm hoping. So yeah, it's gonna be good though. I have a couple secret collabs I'm working on, but I will say one of them is somebody that I'm really excited to work with, and that she is, many people call her like my equal as far as a female artist, so I'm excited about that, and she's just amazing. So, and I called her and asked her if she would do it, and she said yes, and I was happily surprised, so I'm excited about that, but we'll leave that to be the surprise.